when GSA, followed by Department of Defense, decided that BIM could help them solve a very specific problem, not panacea, not change the world, not kumbaya, none of that. They had both of them had very real, tangible, painful problems. The GSA was their design excellence program, right? They would hire really high quality architectural firms to do the courthouses and to do the big, thing. Great idea. Thank you for doing it. Wonderful. But unfortunately, they didn't always pay attention to the program to the degree that they should have, because they really thought they were being hired to design a fabulous building, and they did design fabulous buildings, but then the judge would find out he had to walk 75 miles to get from his chambers to his courtroom. What happened to making that adjacency a high priority? Little things like that, which then again, the GSA client wasn't the end client. Right, that judge was the end client, and the GSA client would get his poor tail kicked all over that courthouse, right? And so it's how can we validate program for design excellence in the schematic design? And they did the people thing. They called together literally all the executives from the BIM companies at the time, sat them in one room together, and said, "Will you all commit to putting this into your programs? If you do, we will mandate the use of BIM on every design excellence project." They all said, "Yes, we will." The GSA did. And they admitted openly, they said, "Look, we're not requiring you to do it any more than just schematic design. Use BIM for schematic design. But we're hoping that once they start, they keep rolling." And they did. And the Department of Defense said, "We have a similar problem." Mm-hmm. And they ended up just doing it with Bentley, but they have these prototypes for buildings, barracks, right? I mean, don't reinvent the wheel. Please don't reinvent the damn wheel, okay? Mm-mm. These things work for us. There's a reason they work for us, because they support everything that we do that way in those buildings. But they give it to an architect, and they wouldn't really get that building on that particular site, on that particular base. But Bentley said, hey, if you just basically build these as whole standalone things in a model and just hand them the model and say, just go site adapt this, right? Make sure it fits to Mother Earth, and then don't touch it above grade, all right? Yep. Voila, problem solved. So bam, they banned it, and the Air Force got involved, and it began to grow from there, right? And I'm thinking, at least, that I'm seeing that the digital twin has that capability to, again, give a reason to an owner that's very tangible and understandable that they would then begin to mandate it. And the two other things I'm beginning to see that are flowing out of that now, that's showing up very loud and clear in the data that never did before, are we are developing and implementing digital practice and process standards for the contractor when they show up on a job. It's in their contract. It's not a standalone document. It's not an idea. It's not a phone call. It's in your damn contract, right? And every trade contractor you work with then better be feeding you their information digitally. Otherwise, you're going to be having people sitting in a back room doing double data entry all day long, buddy. So you better be smart about who you're hiring, which encourages the trades to get more digital and all of that, right? And the third thing that we're seeing, which may be the most disturbing to contractors, is with the growth of these PMIS systems, the project management information systems that started with eBuilder like 15 years ago. McGraw-Hill was one of the first investors in that, and now has spawned Kahua and Project Mates and a whole slew of others. Is that when we survey those guys, they're beginning to say, yes, you will be digital and you will use my system. Thank you. I don't care what else you got running in your shop. Here's your login. Here's your password. Give it to everybody on your team. You're running the whole project through my system. That one is beginning to go like this in terms of the frequency. Once they get involved, because the data is like this in terms of the quality, or the findings are like this in terms of the quality of data that they get. And we track it across the four things I talked about: the accuracy, the timeliness, the completeness, and the consistency from project to project to project to project, which allows them to do cross-project analysis. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Don't get
Sunshine
better.
and rainbows.
No. Keep stumbling every time. That's way better for all of us who write change orders. But it's that's something that people aren't quite prepared for. No. Is that they've put a lot of investment into, and it's the other crazy thing that we see, because we do tons of contractor studies in both trades and GCs in terms of what tech they're using, right? How much of it is homegrown? Eddie and Bobby built this stuff back when, there wasn't anything else. Okay. Or the other stuff was, you're paying for that? I can build that thing.